When is failure not an option? Skydiving. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is probably not your thing. Abraham Lincoln. Nat, everyone is allowed to jump out of a plane without a working parachute once in their lives. There is simply no evidence from systematic double-blind randomized trials that parachutes are an effective remedy to death and injury caused by striking the ground after falling out of planes at typical flight altitudes. Did you know that 1 in every 5 don't even make it to the ground? Those multiple choice questions that some teachers put in Kahoots where all of the answers are correct. Time runs out, you lose. It fucking sucks when your entire class gets it right and it's all green and then it's just you alone with the red screen. Yeah, that was correct, but what's the most correct? When you're Gene Kranz but have 3 astronauts stuck in space. This is what I thought of when writing the post lol. When you're Gene Kranz's wife making his vest. A personal story, I had just started a new IT job back in 2017, working for my boss from a previous job. The CEO/owner of that company owned several other small businesses that I didn't work for. On my way home one day my boss calls me King Cobra. The CEO's biggest company just got hit by ransomware and he needs your help. I'm on a plane to Phoenix, AZ the next morning. I find out that every server, even backups, had been encrypted. If I didn't succeed, hundreds of people would lose their jobs and the company would fold. Failure was not an option. Long story short, it took 3 days, gallons of coffee and Red Bull, to get everything up and running. After that, the CEO asked me to join that company as their lead IT person and I accepted. Yeah, you totally planted the encryption for company clout. Cool. That's awesome. Congrats. Dang, that sounds like movie crap. So every server and all backups are encrypted. How exactly did you recover it? Wait for the feds to dig up the encryption key. Interested in hearing more of this tale? Edit. Ahahaha, read further and found you paid the ransom. So what exactly was it in this story in which failure was not an option? Whoa, congratulations. Wait, was this the Wanakeri ransomware? Why am I getting a Mr. Robot reference XD? I was backpacking in Alaska. I was being careless and had gotten turned around and lost the trail. Not a huge deal, I'm pretty good at orienteering and I had a pretty good handle on where I was. Had plenty of food and water was everywhere. I decided to freak the fuck out though before I sat down and rationally thought that out. The world is a big place when you're all alone in the wilderness. Once I calmed down I came to the decision that I had no choice but to get my shit together and keep going or die. Worked out which way I needed to travel to hit some roads and started out. Took a couple days and working through a bunch of self-doubt, but I eventually found a road and made my way to civilization. Wow, that's amazing and kinda scary at the same time. Glad you found your way out of there eventually and can tell an awesome story. How long before you could grab a hitch? Where were you, out of curiosity? That's scary and awesome AF. I think a lot of people underestimate the vast size of Alaska. Glad you kept your wits and made it out alive. Oh man, you reminded me of my oh shit moment. Was learning to fly a plane and got my solo license, which is just basically I have 20 hours experience in a plane and my instructor, some random guy I paid $8/hour to teach me, watched me do a few touch and goes and he wrote in my logbook okay to solo. So I booked time in a Cessna 172. I drive to the airport, huge windstorm. I would later find out it was one of the biggest windstorms in like a decade. Technically I'm not supposed to fly in 5 knots crosswind, but I'm a young stupid person like Marty McFly who does stupid things because he is worried about being called a chicken. So I taxi out and take off. Holy motherfucking god. I was getting tossed around like my plane was made of paper. I was full ailerons several times just to keep it level. I was beyond panicked. But the thing about flying is, no one can help you. I could get on the radio and say Mayday, but what are they going to do? So I used up probably my next 10 years of stored up focus to get my shit together and land the plane. Managed to get it down with an okay landing. Probably 10% me and 90% luck. I decided flying is not for me. Never flown since. That was 25 years ago. Attempted murder. If you shoot the king, you better kill him. Landing a plane. A good landing is one that you can walk away from. A great landing is one where they can reuse the plane afterwards. If you define success as the plane at some point ending up on the ground, every plane ever has landed successfully. Takeoffs are optional, landings are mandatory. When typing sentences on Reddit. One typo and you're dead. You skipped the last period like a high school senior who's done with it all. OT, thank God. I wish this were true. Witness all the front page posts that have typos and tens of thousands of upvotes. I swear, it is as if the typo makes more people notice the post and then upvote in spite of it. Don't forget the disclaimer covering every possible way anyone could take whatever you have to say. Haha. How you gonna be putting a period after a relative clause acting like it is a complete sentence? There are rules, dude. Your asterisk. I was diagnosed with cancer back in 2018, decided that I'd fight it tooth and nail with everything I had. That didn't last very long. Man, it was tiring. I gave it my all every single day, and eventually I just got so exhausted of it that I decided I was just gonna stop. It was so emotionally, physically, and mentally tiring, so I snapped and decided that I was just gonna stop trying. It wasn't a suicidal kind of thing, I didn't want to die, but I wanted to just stop. Stop moving, stop caring, stop everything. Well, despite that, stuff kept going. Life kept on proceeding as normal. Treatment still persisted. The people around me still kept living their lives. The hospitals kept working, the children still went to Disneyland, adults kept going to work every day, the world just kept on spinning. Time kept moving forward and giving up wasn't going to stop that. That's when it really hit me that this wasn't something I could just quit. Even if I wanted to, giving up wouldn't make a single difference in how I felt, and it certainly wasn't going to find me peace. It was actually surprisingly comforting. Knowing that even when I hit my very lowest points, life would keep on pushing me forward, and I'd still be making some sort of progress. I learned that day not to push through my chemotherapy with everything I had, but to instead spend my time relaxing and enjoying what I had around me. I made friends with the nurses, went on frequent walks, and valued the fact that I still had my life, cause I might not have been able to keep it for long. I accepted my reality for what it was and focused my energy on improving it in small ways. I finished treatment later that year, and even though I have terrible days, I've never considered failure an option. I can't give up just as much as gravity simply can't cease working, or the Earth simply can't cease orbiting the Sunday. It is just not on the menu. When giving up no longer becomes an option, you start immediately thinking of other ways to press forward. You start making new plans to keep going through life. You just do. It is like magic. So to answer the question, failure, giving up is not an option for life, for me. Congrats to you. I hope you are well. I have a long ass quote I think you'll appreciate. She told herself that she could endure. When all was well, you assumed that to suffer such a staggering blow would break you, but when such ills actually befell you, you somehow persevered. You didn't survive to prove something to anyone, you didn't press on simply because you wished to, and you didn't endure because of what the preacher in church said. You survive because deep inside everyone has the simple indefatigable need to press on, whatever the costs. And even if so much was stripped away that you no longer recognized yourself, the thing left was the part of you that you never understood, that you always underestimated, that you were always afraid to look at. You were afraid you'd need it one day and it would not be there for you, but in fact was the only thing that could not be taken away. Heavy black heart. What YouTube channel did you unsubscribe from after being subscribed to them for a long time? What is it that made you unsubscribe after so long? Epic Mealtime. Got annoying real quick. Don't want more bacon? Epic Mealtime is still around? Damn. It was never the same after Muscle's glasses left. EMT was great growing up until they started doing the do-it-at-home stuff. The giant stuffed pig was probably the last one I really watched, however their debut, the fast food pizza, was actually awesome. BuzzFeed is the one that pops to mind. Years ago their quirky videos were easy to watch and mildly funny, nowadays their videos are annoying and reachy with little comedic or educational value. I have to confess, during middle school, I was obsessed with their videos of people trying food from different countries. After the Try Guys left to start their own business, it was pointless. Other than Unsolved. I do love Ryan and Shane. Yeah, BuzzFeed sucks now. I'd still recommend BuzzFeed Unsolved, they're still making great videos. In the same vein, I really liked the Ladylike series until Safiya left. I'm so glad she's continued with her own account. That React channel. Unsubbed after they tried to copyright React. Unsubscribed when I realized I only enjoyed the YouTubers React. I cared about the YouTubers and not the React content. Eugenia Cooney. I just can't watch her crash and burn with her health. It is so sad. I followed her on Twitter. If you are easily upset by stuff like that, don't. Hundreds of people are so worried for her and she often calls them haters and says everyone is against her in response as well. I only found out about her from the Shane Dawson vid. I didn't sub but check in every so often. Her most recent video is terrifying. Horrible to watch someone go from getting better to hitting rock bottom. And there really doesn't look like any hope is there for her with an apparently enabling mother. Worst one in this thread TBH. She looks like she is about to pass away soon. Social media attention is enabling her delusion even more. I don't think she believes the comments telling her to get help. Sweats in 2016 Leafy fan. I was super into Alex Day and Tom Milsom as a teen. I found them attractive and fascinating and I got super obsessed / devoted to them, bought all their merch and CDs and had watched all their videos dozens of times. When I heard about all the allegations it totally crushed me because I'd convinced myself that I actually knew them. It was my first big wake-up call that online personas are very accurate, but it felt like a death to a part of my youth at the time. I feel that. I remember liking Charlie Sokol but growing up makes you realize these people are just personas, not personal. The allegations on Alex slapped me in the face too. Smosh, most of their things became old immo, and I was disappointed when Anthony left. I've actually gotten back into Smosh a tiny bit thanks to the Try Not to Laugh series. Some of the bits can be kinda cringy, but I do find that series to be pretty damn funny, especially when they have Gus Johnson on. Smosh was the she-idiot in middle school and early high school. I honestly think it just went downhill because they matured and stopped being tapped into that boyish humor. Or at least stopped having fresh takes on it, I guess. Those react videos were fun to watch, then they had to go and get all greedy and whatnot. Their trademark fiasco was the deal breaker for me as well. I think they genuinely just ran out of interesting things to react to too. And then it came out that one of the Fine brothers was part of the whole creepy pedophile puppet videos with Shane Dawson. The Fine brothers. They got greedy hard. Everyone unsubscribed hard. Me too. They tried to claim all react videos, but then backed down. Then, they completely removed that. Matthias, his content went from original, fun and engaging and something he clearly worked hard on, to literal clickbait unboxing videos. That and his attitude became very corporate and cold, especially regarding how he sees his fans. It is very much I am the creator and you are my audience, nothing more. Stay away from me. End number X200B, that and calling anyone who uses adblock to watch his videos thieves. He also has basically started just collecting channels. I liked when his channel was Matthias and he also had the Matt Anda channel. Haven't watched since they moved into the office and changed the overall vlog channel to Battle Universe. So, years. Man, I used to love his skits with Jowl Thief and his vlogs with Amanda, but ever since they moved to doing Team Edge Stiff and literally turned his channel into unboxing videos, that was kind of the end for me. The creator/audience thing I kind of get. I have friends that are mid-sized content creators, they make a living off of it, and sometimes people who follow them can be very suffocating, and don't really take hints well, and don't understand boundaries. I've been there a couple times when they've been recognized, and I can see the kind of stuff that people say at them on Twitter, and I know I'd never be able to handle all that kind of shit. Superwoman Lily Singh, her content it just went down cause it was not funny and just so forced. Or maybe my humor just changed, but either way it is so bad. Yes, that's true. I think it is both tbh. Our humor has changed, a lot. But her video quality isn't that great as well. OMG, finally scrolled down enough to see her. I looked up to her as a child, but most probably because she got other projects other than YouTube, that's why her content went down. Saw her in the movie Bad Moms Don't Hate Her though, times just change. For me it was Dan Plan after Steven left. Dude. When I woke up and I saw that on my recommended, my heart dropped. I kept thinking for months it was a prank, but it wasn't. Pensive face. Gosh, Onajan, I used to watch his crap when I was 14 and dumb, then started to hate him and moved on. Thing is, I forgot to unsubscribe and only did it some 2 years ago. It feels very disgusting to have been subbed to his channel for so long. The man is absolute human garbage and I wish I had unsubbed earlier. Yes, I was the same. I used to think when he did his cutter rants and stuff he was speaking to me and he was making sense. Looking back I realized it was just my dumb teeny bopper crush on him. Thank God that didn't last long. Had to unsubscribe from Cryaotic recently after hearing how he groomed minors. Used to watch his videos all the time through middle and high school with my best friend, and even now into college for comfort, and realized he posted a video for the first time in months. It was super vague and rambly, where he didn't actually address anything. Looked into it a bit further and found out there's a ton of women who were groomed by him as teens. Can't watch any of his videos anymore without thinking of how horribly he treated them. Oh wow, I had no idea about Cry, what a dirtbag. I used to watch his videos religiously when I was a teen. I'm glad everything about him was brought to light. I think he ended up having a mental breakdown on a live stream and admitted to everything in full. Dude used to be my favorite back in the day, and I only found out about all that because I went back to start watching him again since his style of video was never really cringy or annoying. It was genuinely upsetting to see, but I'm glad it all came out. I hope he never finds success on YouTube again, but also gets the mental health help he needs before he hurts other people. Zola, Tanya Burr, Ingrid Nilsson, and the like. I got sick of all the look at how much money I can spend, this $50 lipstick is great, use my code for 10% off bullshit when their entire demographic was teenagers who couldn't afford anything except drugstore makeup. And then they'd be like, oh no, I have anxiety so I'm relatable. Guys, I totally understand how you feel, like nah sorry. Same, I unsubbed a few years ago to Zola, Tanya, Jim, Joe Sugg, Alfie, Marcus Butler, Casper, etc. Because they stopped appealing to me as I got older, and it is also mind-blowing to see what happened to them, like Marcus changed a lot, Jim and Tanya got divorced, everyone kinda stopped posting videos, it is kinda sad actually. Zola is so fucking uninteresting, it amazes me she ever succeeded. Age 3. It is no longer comedy but just drama and whining. Ethan from 5 years ago would totally make an episode about Ethan today being another YouTube douchebag. Also maybe it's just me, but Ethan will spend months ripping people and then turn around and have them on the podcast and treat them as if they've been friends for years. Maybe it's just good business, but it comes off really two-faced. Happy face, I hate to admit it, but this is so true. All they talk about now is drama and how Ethan wipes. The number of YouTubers who don't seem to understand that I don't give a flying fuck about your YouTube drama is quite high. I mean, I guess enough people care about it for them to keep going, but yet, I'm not one of them. I watch YouTube videos for entertaining/informative videos. And while I don't mind the occasional update about what YouTube is doing if it is interesting, if that's all your channel consists of, I do not care. If YouTube isn't viable for you, then host somewhere else, or expand your revenue stream outside of it, or whatever else. I don't really care, but if you are going to stay and want me to click on you, then make some good content. Imagine walking into a restaurant and the owner just comes up to you and rants for 20 minutes about how bad the industry is when all you want to do is order dinner. That podcast pretty much killed the channel. I was subscribed to Channel Awesome for years, but then when I discovered that there were movie reviewers that didn't sound like their balls were constantly being pinched and every other bit wasn't a skit, I left for greener pastures. Those skits are so painfully unfunny too. I mean, I haven't watched his channel in 3 years, but I'm gonna assume he is still doing the unfunny skit thing. The king of random just wasn't the same once Grant basically stopped participating, and now is way worse after he died. I unsubscribed a few years ago when everything became about liquid nitrogen. TBF, the cool stuff I originally subbed for, like the HHO generator, YouTube told him he can't do anymore because it is dangerous or something. Super sad he died though. That channel was one of better science experiment ones for a while. They went from actual backyard science and engineering to arts and crafts. Dan TDM, Preston Plays, Unspeakable Gaming, Lazarbeam, Musilk, Just Dustin, Popular Mose. I just got bored of them, especially Lazar, Dustin, and Musilk. Their vids were just more and more of the same things with slight changes. Popular MMOS went downhill, not in a this sucks but more of a how much happened when I was gone. And what happened was sad. The TF2 community really ostracized Musilk. He started off pretty good, but it became clear after Overwatch and then even more so his move to Fortnite that he was in the business for whatever would make the kids happy and pull in views, not for love of the craft. The community just had it with him when we returned to TF2 for a video after one of the voice actors died, and wasn't very respectful at all to the game that he started off on. Unspeakable is just unspeakable. He clickbaits and steals content now. What probably slightly annoyed prehistoric humans. Fleas and lice were a constant back then, but I can't imagine ever really getting used to them. I was going to say small, flying, biting insects. We call them midges here in Scotland, but infernal hellspawn would be a better name. You know, I wonder if they had an idea that shaving their hair would help with the lice? Like, without that hair to latch onto, it would be easier to spot, pick off. Well yet, but that didn't stop being an issue until late modern times. Were they though? Human communities weren't actually that large. As far as I understand it, it was really during the industrial age when thousands of dirty humans were shoved in a small space that you got these issues. Like with any closed animal conditions. Okay, so it's going to sound gross, but very early people didn't get much problem with lice because when your hair is really dirty it is quite rare to get lice. Also, since the population were much smaller there was less chance of a lice epidemic. Continue this thread. Noah replies. When the wind turns at the wrong moment during a hunt. Persistence hunting was a method of hunting used. They would go after the animal until it was too tired to continue running. Accidentally chipping a bit too hard when you are finishing up a spearhead and ruining it when you leave Grog to watch the fire and he falls asleep and lets it go out, and you have to start it all over again, being called a Neanderthal fucker when we all know there is nothing wrong with that actually. Being called a Neanderthal fucker when we all know there is nothing wrong with that actually. Fun fact: all human beings who have roots outside of sub-Saharan Africa have some Neanderthal DNA. I am in the top percentage of Neanderthal genes according to 23andMe, and as a Neanderthal I would like to say that the discrimination us Neanderthals face at the hands of the mainstream media is insane. They painted a picture of us where the word Neanderthal is basically synonymous stupid, when in reality Neanderthals were super smart. There was a period of several thousands years between learning how to control fire, and learning how to create it. Humanity had figured out how to keep a fire going and how to stop it from burning down the whole forest, but couldn't create it from scratch, had to grab a burning brand from a fire that had started naturally and leg it. So it was actually someone's job to maintain the fire through the night and ensure it doesn't go out, because then it was lost forever, which also affected trade, because other tribes would be interested in giving you food/weapons/etc. in exchange for some fire to take home. Point being, if Grog let the fire go out overnight, it could well be much more than an inconvenience, it could fuck over the whole tribe. Note, I have no sources for this. I remember reading about it some time ago. I'm sure someone who knows more about cavemen will correct me. The first one, there is actually evidence of this. An archaeological dig found a site where someone had been making quite a few hand axes. At least one hand axe appeared to be shattered in frustration. Like, dude made a mistake, got frustrated, and shattered his work. All these young people growing their own food and raising animals. I heard that OK's boy stopped traveling altogether, just living in one place. It is making man weak. Make UNGA Bunga great again. Greece historians thought books would make society stupid because no one would have to remember anything anymore. Yet Oak's boy also has a surplus of grain, we might ask him for some since he has asked us over for dinner. Nothing good to eat here. It occurs to me how funny it is that we make up such simplistic names for prehistoric peoples when one of the first people that has a recorded name is Enhejuana. I mean, hunter-gatherers certainly didn't have to worry about obesity. Having to poop outside the cave when it was raining. They pooped in the caves, usually away from habitation areas. Archaeologists get really excited to find coprolites. They can teach us a lot about diet and health. People pooped in pots and kept them under their beds until the 19th century. I think rain in general would be minorly annoying, probably less animals out to hunt, hard to hunt in the rain. Plus side would be drinking water, maybe some sort of cleaning/shower, maybe a bit of special time with MRS grog. Not much else to do in the rain. You have the rain to wash your anus, so what's the problem? Going to your favorite fruit tree or berry bush and finding someone else has already picked it clean. Legit. Same with a mushroom patch. Damn berry stealing whores. Never yelp about your favorite gathering places. Fastest way to ruin them ever. We're talking about slightly annoyed, not something that would make one want to murder the person who did it. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are the primary vector for malaria, a disease which by some estimates may have killed something like half of all humans who ever lived. So they're more than a slight nuisance. But without understanding why they were getting sick and dying, you're right in that prehistoric humans probably didn't realize how annoyed they really should have been by mosquitoes. Biting the inside of their mouth while chewing. I'm sure this is still a common occurrence in rave clubs today. With that we're reminded, there are experiences that are just as annoying now as they were thousands of years ago. Actually, maybe not. There's evidence that suggests that human jaws/mouths and heads are getting smaller, so we're having to cram those teeth into less space, causing us to bite our cheeks more. Of course, it might still have happened anyway, but worth pointing out. A source. That's not slightly annoying, that's as bad as having you sleeves falling down while washing your hands. Well, nobody likes a stubbed toe. If there are men out there that like to get hit in the balls, then there must be people out there that like to stub their toes. They have to be. When you wake up in the morning and you roll out of your pile of leaves and hay and your feet touch the freezing cold rock cave floor. First world problems. Why do you think that lazy good-for-nothing piece of shit Grandpa Joe stayed in bed for 20 years? You'd probably have some sort of rush matting as a rug. And probably not live in a cave but some sort of hut. Actually, ancient humans probably didn't live in caves often, and they more than likely would have used furs to sleep on. Continue this thread. Noah replies. When the girl you have a crush on goes for the literal Neanderthal. Today I learned Neanderthals were ancient Chads. Sorry, Neil. I like you as a friend, but you're just too Homo sapien. Historically accurate. The courting for your favorite bead shell necklace breaking. Someone mistaking your favorite pointed stick for the fire stirrer. Your kid running off with that really nice sharp rock and losing it in the river. A fucking cave bear coming up on the deer you just downed. All that work and that fucker's gonna take the fruit of the labor. The kid putting a bad berry in their mouth and getting sick after you told them not to eat those berries. The local village idiot who does inexplicable shit like trying to make all the round things flat just because he had a vision telling him to do it. You don't know how many jars you've lost to that fuckwit, and now you've got some bird's eggs that'll go great with the moose jerky, and that asshole is eyeing your find. Someone mistaking your favorite pointed stick for the fire stirrer. Today I learned what would have triggered me as a prehistoric human. I don't know if anything similar has ever happened to me, but I genuinely feel angry just reading about this. Stupid fucking dickhead Neanderthal motherfuckers. And because there's no sense in making only a small amount of cordage for your necklace, you have to start working on a large amount. For which you need to go and forage materials that would have needed to be worked until you could use them. Ugh, forget it, you didn't need that necklace anyway. Bead shell necklace. Kenny Chesney has entered the chat. Someone mistaking your favorite pointed stick for the fire stirrer. Anyone who camps enough knows the pain of someone mistaking your fire stirrer for kindling. You can always find another stick, but it is just never as good. R/oddly specific. What's a good movie to watch if you're in the mood to laugh your ass off after a rough work week? The Naked Gun. Nice Beaver. Or any of the 32 Naked Guns leading up to The Naked Gun 33 1/3. My mom loves that guy so much she even made the whole family watch it because of the condom scene. That was definitely hilarious. As amazing as this movie is, it gets edged out by Police Squad in my book. I'm sorry if this is a hard time for you, Mrs. Twice. We'd have come here earlier, but your husband wasn't dead then. Offers a cigar. Cuban. Dutch Irish. My father was from Wales. Galaxy Quest. By Grabthar's Hammer. What a savings. Look. I have one job on this ship. It is stupid, but I'm going to do it. Okay? I read an article written about the movie and Sigourney Weaver says that there's an R-rated cut of Galaxy Quest floating around Hollywood. Release the Galaxy Quest R-rated cut. Never give up. And it exploded. FYI for fans of this film, there is a documentary on it that's great. Didn't see down Periscope mentioned. Makes me sad. Aw, damn it to hell, don't go by the book. Think like a pirate. I want a man with a tattoo on his dick. Do I got the right man? Lieutenant Lake, you're almost out of uniform, my absolute favorite scene from that movie. Young Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein. What hump? He vas my boyfriend. Would you like a roll in the hay? My cousin Vinny and number X200B, the birdcage. The two Utes. I never realized John Wayne walked like that. I second the birdcage if you have not seen it. Hilarious. I love my cousin Vinny. Maybe pop a couple Pyron too if it was a really rough week at work. Super Troopers. The first one. You smell that rabbit? Littering end, littering end, littering and. I haven't seen Super Troopers in a while. I was looking for something funny yesterday and didn't even think of it. I did wind up settling on Beerfest after stumbling across it on Prime, so kinda close. I'll pistol whip the next person who says shenanigans. Gimme a liter of cola. I might go watch that right meow. Enhance. Airplane or Holy Grail? Captain, how soon can you land? I can't tell, you can tell me, I'm a doctor. I mean, I'm just not sure. Well, can't you take a guess? Not for another 2 hours. You can't take a guess for another 2 hours. Holy shit, I just watched Airplane for the first time since I was a kid, and was it good? Now that I'm an adult, I got every joke and picked up on some even deeper jokes in the film that really take it to another level. Surely, you can't be serious. Top Secret, Hudson Hawk. Blazing Saddles. Somebody's gotta go back and get a shitload of dimes. What do you wanna do? I dunno. Play chess. Screw. Okay, let's play chess. Where all the white women at? That movie gave no fucks. Don't forget the producers and history of the world part 1. You know, morons. Pair it with Young Frankenstein. Watch this. Hold hand up steady as a rock. This is my shooting hand holding other hand up, shaking uncontrollably. Office Space. Office Space saved my sanity one time when I was at a job I hated. I have people skills. That's what I do all day. What is wrong with you people? PC load letter? What the fuck does that mean? Looks like you've been missing quite a bit of work lately. Well, I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob. This movie literally altered my career choice. Came out my junior/senior year of HS, and I remember thinking, phew, fuck that. I'm never working in that cubicle hell. My dad was a businessman, and I swear he looked like he wanted to cry when I made him watch. He literally had 4 dudes named Bob, just in his office alone. What a nightmare. Masterpiece of a movie, but a total nightmare. I was renovating an office building once. It wasn't big but was 3 stories all occupied by one software company. It reminded me of Office Space. No one looked like they enjoyed their job. One day I was about to tear up half of a floor, so I grabbed some of the ladies from middle management I had gotten to know and brought them in. I gave them all hammers and said have at it. They didn't think I was serious, but I convinced them. I let them beat the crap out of the walls for a while. That was probably the most enjoyable day they'd ever had in that place. What would you say, you do here? Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. So if you could be here at around 9, that'd be great. When I need a laugh I go for what we do in the shadows. Leave me to do my dark bidding on the internet. What are you bidding on? I'm bidding on a table. Deacon, I think we drink virgin blood because it sounds cool. Vladislav, I think of it like this, if you are going to eat a sandwich, you would just enjoy it more if you knew no one had fucked it. Our friend has just been killed in a fatal sunlight accident. They would say things like, no, don't pillage me, and I would say no. I'm pillaging everyone, you included. We're werewolves, not swearwolves. The movie and show are so good. Basketti. Guillermo, this movie and television series are for vampires only. Nander, there were all these people in the cells shouting and screaming half drunk. Laszlo, where did they find the alcohol? Nander, no, they were half drunk. They've been half drunk. Finish a whole victim before moving on to the next one. As a Kiwi, it warms my heart so much seeing this as the top comment.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.